This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your money, your mental health, your relationships, your boundaries or lack thereof. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality, joined today by the inimitable Dr. John Deloney. John, good to see you.
Wow, look who's got a dictionary.
Yeah, I've been hanging out with Ken Coleman. He's taught me a lot of $10 words.
He's going to comment on that. We're just going to go.
I just threw a little grenade over there just to see what you do with it. Well, folks, it's open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. If you've got a question, a burning question, you want some confirmation, affirmation, you want us to talk you off the ledge of a terrible financial decision you're about to make, we are here for you today. So give us a call. Phone lines are open. 888-825-5225. Mary kicks us off in Kalamazoo. Mary, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. How can John and I help?
Well, my husband and I are kind of in a sticky situation with with my mother-in-law, his mother, and we don't really know if we should help her, how we should help her. Right now, she's going through a divorce. The reason of the divorce being that she is a hoarder, and her soon-to-be ex-husband says that he's been asking for help with bills, but she hasn't been helping with bills. She also has a mortgage on a house that is unlivable. It's covered in mold, and she wants to continue to live there. My husband's father passed away and left her, I want to say, about $200,000. But she's already spent it all. And while he was still alive, he bailed her out of $500,000 in debt.
Oh.
She's not really being forthcoming about any of her debt situation. And she has even gone as far to ask us not to tell the rest of the family about her divorce, which I think is going to be final in about 30 days. So now it's a situation of, and I don't even know if this is the correct terminology or the correct thinking, but do we allow my mother-in-law to live in a house that's covered in mold that's hazardous to her health, and she's just going to continue to be in debt and be a hoarder, or do we intervene somehow? How do I navigate this?
So, Mary, I'll jump in here. I hear it in you that you're just at wit's end. And so a couple of things I want to walk you through about hoarding, and then we will get to some steps y'all can take, okay?
Okay.
Hoarding is one of those words like narcissist that gets thrown around a lot all over the place. It sounds like she truly is hoarding, right?
She truly is a hoarder. I'm not saying this lightly.
I trust you. When somebody is fully there, when they get a rush on getting a good deal, or they're unable to maneuver in their home, it's unsanitary, it's unsafe, and they are unable to move forward. I want you to begin to shift your language. You're going to practice this. I want you to shift your language from she's not coming, she's not forthcoming, your mother-in-law is very, very ill. Okay?
Okay.
And so let's take the moral stuff out. Let's take the character stuff out. Not long term, right? There's still going to be some reckoning here, and we need to change some actions and behavior. But right now, she's very, very sick. She's not okay. And we could probably track this thing back all the way to when she was a little girl. There's some trauma here that's been there around for a long time, it would be my guess. Mm-hmm. But we're here now. So here's a hard truth. You can't make an adult do anything.
Yeah.
And there's few things on earth more devastating than watching somebody you love be in pain and not take your help or your support or your care. Because I know if she called you and said, I need this house cleaned up this week, you and your husband and everybody else would take the week off and go get that thing. But it can't,
Absolutely.
Right? Of course you would. And so you are watching somebody that you love drown. And you can yell all day long, hey, we'll come out and get you. We're here swimming, treading water next to you. And they say, leave me alone, leave me alone. One of the cornerstones of true hoarding is a deep, resounding shame. She knows what her house looks like. And she's found herself in a position where she doesn't believe she can stop. She knows about the divorce and that some of her actions have led to somebody saying, I can't be in a relationship with you anymore. And that shame mounts and mounts and mounts and mounts and mounts. So at some point, you can rally all of your husband's brothers and sisters, and he needs to lead this. His brothers and sisters need to lead this. You need to support him in this. This isn't your lead to take. But they either show up with a mental health professional and do an intervention and say, we're getting involved here, knowing that mom can kick y'all out, and or you can call some of the resources in your community that says we have an adult who is no longer able to take care of themselves. And there is instances where the local government will get involved. That gets messy. Mom will say mean things to y'all. And that's just part of it, and that's okay because you're taking care of somebody. But there's not going to be some magic conversation that you, the daughter-in-law, can have, and she'll go, oh, I didn't think of that. That's not where we're at. She's very, very sick, okay? So the reason I tell you she's very sick, I want you to approach her with compassion, not with anger and frustration, even though you're going to get angry and frustrated. And let's approach it from a compassion lens, and then let's say, we're going to give you an opportunity to be surrounded by people who love you and say, we're willing to get the big dumpsters in here. We're going to help you get some care. She probably needs to go see a doctor. Not probably, she for sure does. And if she won't do that, then we're going to call in some professionals here in the community and say, hopefully they'll reach out. They may not. Okay. This is a hard, messy situation you are in. I'd let her know we're not going to loan you money. All the brothers and sisters, we're not going to give you money. We're not going to give you access to our credit cards. And we're going to go down those roads to make sure everybody's on the same page, that we're going to start taking care of mom because she's not okay.
Okay. The other issue that I'm having, that I'm hurting with, it's just such a black and white difference between her parenting versus my parents. I would. It's hard for me to deal with, and then I know, as a wife and as a support to my husband, he's told me that he promised his father on his father's deathbed that he would take care of mom.
That's right. And here's the deal: taking care of mom isn't giving mom everything she wants. Taking care of mom is calling the professionals and the interventionists who are going to help pull her out of the water because she is literally drowning. Don't compare your parents. You'll have two different sets of parents who have different sets of gifts and skills. You love your parents and you love her, and how you love each other is going to look differently for both of you. You can do
So
this.
sorry you're going through this, Mary.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality: if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality, joined today by best-selling author Dr. John Deloney. John, we just took a heartbreaking call. Woman called in. Her mother-in-law is a hoarder. The father had passed away, and she's just spiraling out of control. And it reminded me of the importance of getting well while you can. And we believe there's hope for everyone, that it's never too late. And the way you unpack a clear path in this book for people who aren't scientists like me is absolutely incredible. So Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It's on pre-order now. You get a free month from BetterHelp of weekly one-on-one therapy, which is incredible on its own. Lots of bonuses there. But tell us what someone can use this book for to get well.
So I think people think of mental health. They think of that woman in that call. All right, my mother-in-law has a psychiatric disorder that she is struggling for, burning through money. She's unable to help herself. So we think about mental health. We think of that.
Think of extreme cases.
The major cases. This book is not for that situation. It can support that situation, but this book is for that woman who just called. How do I keep myself and my family okay when we're trying to love somebody who's struggling? How do I live in a world where this country just invaded that country and we're still coming out of a pandemic and I haven't paid my student loans off yet, and or what's happening with our government? I got debt. How do I be okay in that mess? And that is all of us. That's me, all right? That's everybody, man. That's Dave. That's you. That's all
Everyone's
of us.
got levels of trauma, no matter if they think they do or not.
Yeah.
There's stuff that happened in their life, and when we don't deal with it, it comes out in weird ways, and then we wake up one day going, why does my life just kind of suck?
Yeah, and so whenever it's just an expansion of, man, we hear mental health and relationship. We hear that stuff all the time, and we think that's for those people. It's for all of us. It's for all of us. And so most mental health books talk at you. All of them, they talk at you. It was really important to me that, man, this is my journey too. Like this is just a couple of folks sitting on the back of a tailgate going, which is a very Texas reference, by the way.
I've never done that, John.
In your case, sitting in a brand new Nissan Leaf that's plugged in.
Thank you. Says the guy who drives the Prius. Okay.
I used to until I slid it down the concrete barrier here on 65. But
that's for another day.
That's another day. But it's for all of us. Just having conversations, saying I'm just walking alongside you.
I love it. Well, folks, you're never too old. You're never too young to improve your health and make those relationships stronger, to deal with those past traumas so that you can be well. And you get a free month of one-on-one weekly therapy from our friends at BetterHelp, which will give you some tools that you need to change your future. And you're going to get matched with a therapist based on your specific needs. So I love this combo. Dr. John Deloney's new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, plus a month of therapy from BetterHelp. This book's going to make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It's going to challenge you. It's going to help unpack some of those bricks that you've been carrying around for way too long. And when you take these steps that Dr. John outlines and take advantage of that free therapy, you will be transformed. And that's what we're all about here at Ramsey. We're in the transformation business. Sure. So go get yours. It's $20 for all this stuff. That's amazing. RamseySolutions.com is the place to do that. And they've got some cool bonuses with the conversation cards, the questions for humans right now. So go check all of that out at RamseySolutions.com. All right. Let's move on to Olivia. She's on the line in Miami, Florida. Olivia, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, George. Hi, John. How are you doing?
Great. How can we help?
So I recently moved to Florida, and my rent actually increased. I've been following Financial Peace University since 2020, but I didn't really kind of follow all the rules. So I kind of messed up and got myself a little bit deeper into debt. So I kind of started doing it all over again. And but my rent increased, and I'm thinking, should I put the baby steps on hold and focus on finding a cheaper apartment, or should I just stay where I am for now?
Well, I don't think this is an emergency situation where we put the steps on hold. What we do have to do is look at our budget and find margin. And there's only two ways to create that margin. Number one is increase our income, and number two is decrease our expenses. And the combination of those things hopefully will get you to a point where you're going to be able to afford that rent and keep on with the baby steps.
So when you say you did something dumb, what'd you do?
I got a car. I financed a car.
Oh, you're calling about, should I get a cheaper apartment? And then you made a
What's this car loan?
What is it?
Yeah. I got a car loan in 2020. So that ended up kind of being the mistake there. So it's kind of the expense of paying for the car and student loans and credit cards and everything. It's just kind of kicking my butt plus the inflation.
Well, the good news about cars is that it's usually a reversible decision. So what's the car worth?
The car right now, the last time I checked, it was like $10,000, but my car payments are $15,000. Like the total, I should say, is $15,000.
So the loan is for $15,000.
Yes.
And the car is only worth $10,000.
Yes.
I would go check on that.
That feels really low.
Since you bought that in 2020, cars have appreciated in the most bizarre way. Have you checked on it recently?
Yeah, I have, because I was trying to trade it in for something cheaper, and it turned out that I would have negative equity. So.
Okay. All right. Okay, so what's your take-home pay right now every month?
It's I take home about I take home $2,000 a month.
And what's your rent?
My rent is $1,250.
Ouch. You can't even breathe.
Olivia, what are you doing?
I know.
Is this a one-bedroom apartment?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're living alone, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. It may be time to move out and move in with someone else as a roommate. Have you thought about that option?
I actually just came out of a roommate situation, so I kind of didn't want to go back into that.
Okay, Olivia, let me say this because George is really kind. You are broke. You're drowning. You can't breathe, okay?
How do we get this income up is another part of the equation. You definitely have to move out. You can't afford this even if you got a raise today. This is insane to be paying this much with your take-home pay.
Yeah.
So what are you doing for work?
I work in pharmacy as a pharmacy tech.
Okay. And you're making $24,000 a year after taxes?
$30,000 a year after taxes.
Okay. I think we need to find a way to get this income up.
Yeah, maybe
the temporary.
So here's what happened. You found yourself and you're broke. You followed America to Florida, and shockingly, when all of America wants to live in a place, then the rents go way up, and they can just move them up willy-nilly because there's a line of people from California to New York who will take that spot behind you. You're going to have to be radical for a season. In a season, I mean probably 2 years. And I mean radical, like you're going to work a full day as a farm tech, and then you're going to go over work another shift at a local hospital, or you're going to go deliver pizzas. You drive for Lyft. You're going to do whatever for 2 years. And you're going to pay this sucker off and pay your stupid student loans off. And you're going to have a knuckleheaded roommate that's so annoying. They're safe, but God almighty, they're annoying. And every day you're going to say, never again, never again, never again. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Just close your eyes for a second real tight and think about being 28 and not owing anybody anything as you move into your new apartment, and you'll have gotten a new job because you're going to have so much new muscle. You'll be a gangster.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know I'm sounding like, man, that guy needs to take a couple of Xanax and chill out. I know I sound like that, but I don't know you realize how scary things are for you.
Yeah, I actually do realize the position that I'm in. But, like, my budget has been really tight. Like, I've been really good with my budget, so I've just been able to kind of stay afloat. But it's really hard.
Yeah.
Have you gone through Financial Peace University?
I have. I just started the baby steps. I'm at baby step 1.
Good.
Awesome. Well, how much debt do you have total?
In total, it's about $48,000.
Okay. You can do this, but like John's saying, you're going to have to do some radical things, sacrifice, get the roommate, take the second job, take the third job, get your income up, slash the budget even further for a season.
6.5 days a week.
And if you can sacrifice for 2 years, the next 20 after that are going to be amazing.
30, 40 after that.
50. We'll keep going,
She's
John.
going to live forever.
She's going to go forever. That's financial freedom. Well, we're pulling for you. Thanks for the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Dr. John Deloney. And in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Greg and Becky join us. How are you guys?
We're great.
Where are you from?
North Mankato, Minnesota.
Minnesota. All the way to do a debt-free scream.
That's right.
How much have you guys paid off?
$158,000.
Whoa. Let's go.
Yep.
How long did that take?
4 years and 9 months.
Nice.
Awesome. And what was the range of income during that time?
85 to 115.
All right. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a controls tech, and Becky is a fitness instructor and manager at a gym.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
What is a controls tech?
That hurt my brain.
I do programming with programmable logic controllers, PLCs. And
do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I do not understand those words. But it sounds like you're really smart and that you could blow us all up. So I love you, and I'm glad that you're here. It's awesome.
He knows enough to be dangerous.
That's
okay.
right.
So this $158,000, what kind of debt was this?
It was mostly, a lot of it was student loans, and then it's our house, too.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay, mic drop. We're looking at weird people,
We
John.
got a Minnesota house.
Yeah.
That's
Very
amazing.
It was exciting.
So casual. Like, yeah, just some loans and a house, no big deal.
Dude, he's a
Normal
control
day.
tech. He doesn't have to. Look at him. He's awesome. It's like
they're
a
so
cyborg.
chill. Wow, this is incredible. Okay, so let's talk about this. 4 years and 9 months ago, you guys had the loans. You also had the mortgage, and you just went, we're just doing this thing. What happened?
Well, we were invited. We were meeting with some friends, and they were all going to go on this sandals trip, and they invited us to go. But we were like, well, we weren't married yet. We wanted to be married. We were like, well, we have all this debt too, and we don't want to go on this trip and like have all these other expenses and come back and be stressed out still. So for us, it was, let's take the time now and pay off this debt, and then we can go on these trips and actually go and enjoy them and have fun.
Wait,
so,
you guys just like made an adult decision to just have patience?
We really did, yes.
Haven't you seen the sandals brochures, though?
Yeah,
it looks so
they're beautiful.
nice.
I
Right?
know.
They still
It's
have
wonderful.
brochures, John?
I don't know. Yeah, on the covered wagon I take home.
So were you guys always kind of disciplined, but just kind of ish?
I think I always, like, I was working really hard to get debt free before I'd met Greg, and he was definitely more financially savvy than I was. And then once we met and we were talking about getting married, he was like, have you ever heard of like Dave Ramsey or these other like finance whatever? And I was like, no, I don't know anything about it. I'm just trying to pay my car off. Like, so, and he was really good at guiding me and getting me on track with that. So
How'd you get connected, Greg, with our crazy crew?
I think just internet research, just reading and learning about, what is money, what should you do, what should you not do, and came upon Dave Ramsey.
Wow. Anyway, this guy's got a good head on his shoulders. Let's go with his plan instead of mine.
yeah, exactly.
Wow. Well, 4 years and 9 months, that's a long journey to a lot of people.
Yes.
To become debt-free. I mean, obviously, house and everything. That's absolutely incredible. How did you guys stay motivated on this path?
Well, some big motivations were we have really good friends who have paid off their mortgages too. So that was like huge. My mom paid off hers too.
Wow.
It just was like when they would do that, it was more inspiring for us to be like, okay, our friends can do this. Like we can do this too. We can crack down and keep going and get this
So you saw it done from people that are just like you, and you went, wait, if they can do it, we can do this.
Exactly.
We're not that different.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
over the last 4.5 years, recount your most legendary marital fight over this budget.
Well, budgeting for me is always just a little stressful and very emotional, and I pretty much cry every time I do it.
Wow.
Like, because Greg has like, I would like to do it this way, and I think we should really watch this, and I'm like, so I'm the more emotional one for sure.
The way you it's a little bit this and this, and I cry every time. That's fantastic. Greg, what about you, man?
I just remember, the first time she cried. we were talking about, we were actually getting rid of a little credit card, and we fell for the Delta thing where, hey, we're going to get a bunch of points and get a bunch
those
of
Sky Miles.
Yep. And
so annoying.
Yeah, so we were trying to then redeem, and it was such a hassle, and it turned out we couldn't redeem and get like the trip we wanted to get, and it turns out there's all these hoops to jump through, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, if you want to go to Nebraska in 2027 on a Tuesday, we got the points for you.
Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly.
And you're on a Delta flight, so
that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. And here you guys are, house paid for and everything.
Yes.
Talk to that couple who may be sitting there with $158,000 and they go, well, we're just never going to pay this off.
Oh, it definitely, we talked about it on our drive down yesterday, how like getting to the end point was just writing out the goals and having like visuals and listening to the show and hearing other people pay off their houses too was huge and inspiring and kept us motivated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, but when you really sit and think about like the rewards at the end, and to start out, like, we're going to have a baby soon, and so we know, like, we don't have to worry about that stuff.
Congratulations.
It's going to be so nice. Yeah.
Yes, bring it into the world debt-free.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it if you can.
Exactly.
Yeah, and when you surround yourself with a bunch of, negative Nancys who go, no, you'll always have a car payment. No one pays off their... It's actually stupid to pay off your house.
Actually, I talked about that too, how they were my cheerleaders as well. Like, I loved when people said that to me because I was like,
you up.
I'm going to show you that I'm going to get this done. I don't want to have a car payment. I don't want to have a mortgage for the rest of my life. I want to live our lives and travel and, like, do what we want to do. So it was just motivating when people would tell us, oh no, you'll have that forever.
You love both. You love the support and you love the negativity. Both fueled you in their own ways.
Yes.
So you've done this stuff.
Oh, Greg, what do you tell that husband who's sitting with his wife over across the table and they're doing their first budget and she just starts crying?
I think just be patient, and you may have the you might have figured out mathematically how this could be done the best, but listen to her because she may have a really good solution that you just didn't think of.
Dude, you should start a marriage podcast, brother.
Hold on. The key to a good marriage is patience and listen.
Yes, and I know you've got it all figured out, but maybe she's got an idea too. Dude, you're a genius,
This guy's
man.
got it. Wow.
Golly.
So you've done this stuff. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Well, we definitely we know everyone says budget, and it's huge. To work on that budget and do the zero-based and figure out where your money is going is just, it's the best part. So for us, that was the biggest thing. And saying no, and just keep listening to the Ramsey Show and keep listening to other people as they pay off and fight through these things too.
Have you had the moment yet when you've got your checks deposited and you don't have any payments?
It's our money.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It still doesn't feel that real, but we're a few months into the new year and we're like, we can do what we want.
It's just all deposits and it's all.
Yeah.
Look at Greg. Look at you smiling, man.
It's a good feeling.
That's the biggest tech smile I've ever seen. That's fantastic.
He's beaming.
Yes.
So, how does it feel to be completely 100% debt-free and not owe anyone anything?
It's awesome.
Very good.
Yes, it's incredible. We love it. So
it's hard not to love, John.
Yeah.
There's a lot to love there when you don't have any payments to make at the end of the month, and you get to keep it. You get to now you can go to Sandals every month if you want to.
Oh, sure, yes, that sounds.
And your
great.
friends can go, hey, we can't. Sorry, we're broke.
And gender reveal: little girl, little boy.
It's a little boy.
Little boy?
Yes.
I'm just saying, John is a better name than George. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Both are kind of lame, but, you can do better is all I'm saying. Well, guys, we're so proud of you. You guys are heroes, and you're going to inspire a lot of couples out there who didn't think it was possible, who may be in the journey with you trying to pay off this house, and they heard Greg and Becky, and they went, this is keeping us going.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here. Thanks for making the trip.
Yeah,
we got
thank
a
you.
copy of Baby Steps Millionaires. That's Dave's #1 national best-selling book. That's the next chapter for you guys as you build wealth and give outrageously for the rest of your entire lives. And we also have a copy of Total Money Makeover, and I want you to give it to that person who was super negative and go, hey, just slip it over and say, I know this is going to be a coaster for a little while, but you'll get there.
Yeah.
And maybe next year you can come to Sandals with us.
Boom.
Boom. I like that.
Well, let's get to the big moment here. It's Greg and Becky, Minneapolis, Minnesota area, $158,000 paid off, house and everything, in 4 years and 9 months, making $85 up to $115. Count it down, guys. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Woo! Just like that, another couple gets set free. We love to hear it. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality and host of the Fine Print and Entree Leadership Podcast, joined today by Dr. John Deloney, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show. Okay, John, it's America's favorite time. We found a new TikTok video for you.
Oh, God.
I know how much you love the TikTok.
With all of my heart.
Just as much as you love the internets.
I love them all.
And with any social media platform, there's a lot of great things that can happen on there, and there's a lot of not great things. And sometimes, just sometimes, John, we like to highlight the not so great things.
Bring it on. Let's do it.
A lot of financial advice out there, especially when it comes to crypto. A lot of FOMO. A lot of people trying to get in on the next big coin. And so I thought we would watch a video together and just see how you react to it, John. You ready for this?
I am. People getting nutritional advice and mental health advice and now money advice from teenagers on the TikToks. That's congratulations, America. We've done it. Roll the clip.
Everyone gets a platform. Okay.
Everybody gets. That's right.
Let's see what we got here. Remember, John, your mic is hot, so choose your words.
Here's what would have happened had you invested your $1,200 stimulus check that was first issued on April 12, 2020 into these top 10 most popular cryptocurrencies. $1,200 investment into Bitcoin today would now be worth $7,538. $1,200 investment into Ethereum would be worth $22,929. Into ADA would now be worth $76,363. Into BNB would now be worth $28,720. $1,200 investment into XRP would now be worth $5,873. Into Solana would be worth a whopping $210,389. Into Chainlink would be worth $8,544.
I think you're just making them up.
Would be worth $126,000. Into Litecoin would be $4,595. And a $1,200 investment into Terra Luna would now be worth $180,000.
Well, George, my hemorrhoids are back. Hemorrhoids are back.
They're back, John. Wow.
You know what else is cool? If I had not gone to Taco Bell yesterday, I wouldn't have indigestion.
Is that how that works?
You know what he didn't play? He didn't play the other 10. Gosh, dude.
So let's just recap what just happened, John. First of all, I think he made up about 17 words in there. How do people just keep up, man? And here's the other thing. Hindsight is 20/20. John, you're an idiot. If you invested in Apple in 1984, just $100, you'd be a millionaire by now.
Did you know if you'd gotten off your horse in 1806 and put some money in Ford shares, you'd be a gajillionaire?
So, John, I was just in Vegas, and I put 16 black, and I went all in on it. I won big. You should also put 16 on black next time you go. Yeah, because that's the winning number.
This is such a terrible use of statistics. Everybody... jeez.
I don't know if we can call it statistics. I think professors all over are angry right now.
Well, it's this. It's this. Oh, man.
You got John all breathy, America.
You do have me
Look
all
what
breathy.
you did.
Because I hate the manipulation of data to, A, make people feel dumb for choices they could have made. And I'm even going to go with should have, because we actually have real data of what these things are worth today.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Well,
producer James pulled that
I
for
can't
us.
stand it when people say, well, if you had of, so you should. Because there is zero, none, zilch correlation, right? And it left out 10,000 other crypto, like whatever, cartoons drawn with some kid's laptop. It left all that out who people lost their their minds, right? So you take a narrow snapshot of those things, and it makes you feel stupid and left out, and then that's going to encourage people to go make some reckless choices with their money. And it's that kind of nonsense hurts people. It's not helpful.
No.
It's not helpful.
Not at all. It just it makes you feel more
I told
FOMO.
you so.
You go, I missed out. I missed out again on the next big thing.
Right.
And as we know, timing the market is the most dangerous thing you can do. And we say it's not about time in the market. It's not about timing the market. It's about time in the market. It's about consistency over time. When it's up, when it's down, you're consistent. You're investing in things that have a stable, long, proven track record. That's why we recommend mutual funds over the next meme coin that just came out. So producer James pulled up using the same logic, pulled up some interesting stats here. If you had invested $1,200 into Ethereum in November 2021, as of January, you would have $840. There goes $400 right there. If you invested $1,200 into Bitcoin in early November 2021, as of mid-January, you would have $660.
Congratulations.
Just lost half your money. Way
Golf
to go.
clap, America.
If you invested $1,200 into Dogecoin in May of 2021, as of January, you would have $360 instead of $1,200. And I know this for a fact, John, and here's why. When we were doing the episode on cryptocurrency on the Fine Print podcast, which you can go listen to wherever you listen to podcasts.
Middle school boys everywhere were angry with you.
They're very upset with me. Here's what I did. I had to know the experience of what it's like to actually invest in something. So I didn't spend more than I was willing to lose. I put $40 into Dogecoin. It was 40 cents at the time, so I got 100 Dogecoin, and I went, all right, let me just see the experience. Number one, it's traded 24/7. So I can be up at 3 a.m. watching it zing up and down like a roller coaster, going, oh, there goes my money. Oh, I made $1. Oh, I lost $5. This is very stressful. So then we wonder why there's rampant anxiety in society.
It's like following your wife around and be like, you like me? Do you like me now? Do you like me now?
How about now? So that was one piece of it. But that $40, can I tell you what it is today, John?
According to that dude on the TikToks, it's worth $111 million.
It's worth $14. That $40 turned into $14.
Just ride the wave,
And
George.
this was before Elon Musk was saying, hey, Doge to the moon, and he went on SNL, and everyone thought, this is our chance to get rich quick. And Doge crashed after he went on SNL and mentioned Dogecoin. So, don't let billionaires dictate how your investments do.
Hold on.
With one thing they said on SNL.
I'll even give billionaires. Like, I think that's a good, like, how'd you, if I see somebody who's in great shape, I might ask them, hey, what are some things you do in your life that put you into great shape? And I got to filter that through my life and my body and my blood types and my experience and blah, blah. Who I'm not going to ask is some nameless hand on the TikToks. I don't know who that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy is. I'm not going to say, you're right, I screwed up. Because I don't even know if that data's true. I don't know if that's accurate. It's certainly not accurate right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gosh, those things.
And generally, if you're telling someone to invest in a certain coin, it's because you invested in that coin, and if they invest, then you make more money. It's like a multi-level marketing scheme.
Especially, I think I'm glad you brought that up, and this is me being totally serious. If somebody who's a billionaire comes out on a platform, and I'm not saying they're evil guys, but they come out and say, here's where I'm putting my money. They know that a bunch of people will rush out and put their money there, which props up the price, and they can get out. And they've got 1 million followers or 10 million followers or 100 million followers. And so if you are trying to, it's like this. How often have we, not you, I'll say me.
Thank you, John.
How often have I watched a pro athlete documentary and I look at their workouts and I'm like, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. And I'll start watching the weights they're lifting and squatting. And I'll think, all right, I need to up my game. No! They play for a professional team. This is their job. Mine is to run my mouth on the radio, right? I shouldn't be lifting like a pro athlete.
Yeah.
Following the dollar amounts and the scale that some of these folks are investing in, if that thing goes down, you know what they still have? $1 billion. You know what you have? 14.
That was your whole life savings while you're strapped with payments.
So they can drag you into this thing, prop their thing up, and get out. And they've got it's a much different game they're playing, even though the process looks the same.
Yeah.
So, man, don't make choices with your life.
And
off
don't
TikTok.
invest in things that you don't understand. And I'll tell you, John, I've done a lot of research on crypto and NFTs. And the more I research it, the dumber I think I'm getting. I'm like, maybe I'm just not a smart person because this is so complicated, which makes me think maybe it's not designed to actually make me rich.
It's designed to help other people get rich and then get out.
So there's your little pro tip for the day on cryptocurrency. If you want to learn more about this stuff, we did a whole episode on the fine print, all about the hidden truths that are keeping people broke. It's called Could Bitcoin Be Your Ticket to Wealth? And if you want to join us, we are going to be going to Orlando with a Building Wealth event where we show you the right way to build wealth. So you can check all of that out at RamseySolutions.com.
Thank you for making me dumber today, George.
You're welcome. It wasn't hard. I don't know what that says about you.
It's a low bar.
That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to my fantastic co-host, Dr. John Deloney, all the folks in the booth, keeping the lights on, keeping the audio going. And, of course, you, America, appreciate you listening. We'll be back with you before you know it.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your money, your mental health, your relationships, everything that matters to you. We are here to talk about it. I'm George Camel, joined today by the infamous, the legendary Dr. John Deloney, and we're taking your calls. So give us one, 888-825-5225. For you younger folks out there, there's an app on your phone that says phone, and you tap that and then type in 888-825-5225. You will get connected to Kelly. She's very nice. She's not going to hurt you, and you will get patched through to me and John. We'll have a good time.
Did you just tell the youngsters how to...
It's a tutorial.
How to work a telephone?
They need it. Did you know that it makes calls?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was born in the 18th century.
That's true. All right.
This is
let's
a
get to it.
significant upgrade.
Haley is waiting for us, John. She's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and let's go to her right now. Haley, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi.
Hey.
My 7-year-old son with ADHD has been in traditional school for the past 4 years, but now this upcoming year we'll be homeschooling him while sending my neurotypical 4-year-old son to traditional school. So I just want to know how I can nurture their relationship so that they aren't comparing themselves to each other in a damaging way. How can I support their emotions through this life change?
I think you put everything on the table. And what I mean by that is everybody's got to parent their kids differently. And the last 20 years or so, we've got this weird thing about everything's got to be perfectly equal, which has turned into everything's got to be exactly the same. And every one of your kids has different needs. I've got one kid who loves the outdoors, and I've got one kid who would like to go outside never, ever again, ever. And so one kid, I can hold accountable and say, well, you got to stay inside the rest of the day. And it's like, no. And the other kid, I say, you got to spend the rest of the afternoon outside. And so it's just a matter of being comfortable parenting them both differently. What are you worried about?
Truthfully, my child with ADHD actually loves school. And
why are you taking him out?
His needs. It truthfully is his needs.
Tell me more about that. What's that mean?
So we tried medication with him, and sometimes it actually makes his interruptions worse. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it makes it better. We're working on the dose still, so we're still kind of in this newly diagnosed transitional phase.
But is he getting? Take the diagnostics off, take the medication off, take everything off. Tell me what your little boy's going through at school.
Okay, the teachers say that he is too disruptive, just calling out a lot to the point where, and too distracted to the point that they just don't think he's getting anything academically out of it. Okay. Yes, he's getting socialization, and that's why he loves school. So we're going to try to I think we're going to try to find some place that he loves just as much. I guess we're just concerned that he's not going to equate whatever socialization we give him to like the same as school, just because that's all he's known for the last 4 years.
Yes.
So it's just,
So
you know, the
is this a public?
change.
Is this a public school?
This one's a private, but when we talked to public, they said that he was too high functioning for any type of services whatsoever.
Okay.
So that's why we're like, we need to, and I also read the book you recommended, Scattered Minds.
Yep.
And we're like, you know what, let's just give him all the attention at home that we possibly can and see how much that helps. So that's why we want to go that route with him.
Okay.
But my younger kid, he doesn't exactly like school, but we know that it's because of the socialization, and we know that that's what he needs. So it's just kind of we think that this is what they do need, but we could be wrong.
So let me give you a little bit of peace about a few things, okay?
Okay.
Give it a shot. And if 2 months in you realize, man, we need to get this thing figured out. He needs to be at school with his peers, with some structure. We need to have a daily routine that is relatively firm, so that he can begin to practice boundaries. I'm talking about your son who's struggling with impulse control.
Yeah.
If that might be where you are, and so you won't have failed anything. You will have been a mother who loves her kid and is trying. Okay, and then we'll say, well, we'll get you back in, and then you'll get back in. They're young. Okay. It's fine, and vice versa. Hold it loosely. Okay. The second thing is a public school is obligated to take care of the needs of its students, and private schools, some are great, some are notoriously terrible because they can't afford the resources to take care of students with non-traditional learning exceptionalities. Okay, so if you have a diagnostic and you've sat down with got all the psychological testing, and you sit down with the public school, they have to meet those needs. That's just a law.
So then what steps do I take then if they are saying that according to their assessment he doesn't need as many services as what the other assessments are saying? You know what I mean? Like the particular school we're going to isn't matching the needs that we think the psychologist even thinks that he needs.
Generally, a school can't override that. There's going to have to be some pretty firm conversations about that. And there's entire programs that go to war against schools who say, nah, your doctor or the psychologist or this professional is wrong. We're going to just do it like this. And in defense of the schools of which I've worked in, sometimes the change of environment, the change of structure, the change of a number of things. My son went from a private school to a public school that had infinitely less boundaries to infinitely more, and has absolutely soared. Just a different environment. Okay? So sometimes the environmental change. All of this is to say your kids will absorb your tension. Your kids will absorb your indecision. Your kids will absorb your fear. And so, say we're doing the best we can with the information we got. We think this is best for you. We're the parents. And we're going to stay plugged in with you. We're going to stay plugged in with the teacher. And then we're going to make the best decisions in real time as we move along.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And if you choose homeschool, great. Go all in. Do a great job at it. Do a great job. Your son may become a peaceful, you have no idea what's going to happen. Or you may know a month in, I think that we're going to bury each other in the backyard, and this is not going to work for our family. Great. Then we'll go back to we'll go to public school, and then we'll talk about the ARDS and the 504 stuff, and we'll get through all of that stuff with the doctors. Okay? But I want you to be at peace. The thing I want you to not do is don't hide this stuff from your kids. Don't keep secrets. Okay. You hear what I'm saying? Just be honest with them. Tell them what we're doing in age-appropriate language, and then we're going to go from there. They are lucky to have you. They're lucky that you're their mom because you care about them and you're trying whatever's going to work for them. I want you to exhale and know I'm doing a good job. I love these kids. I'm working hard. And then we're going to hold it loosely and we're going to make changes where we need to. Good for you.
A lot of wisdom there, John. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, joined today by Dr. John Deloney. This is The Ramsey Show. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. All right, John, occasionally we get a question from social media, and occasionally we take that question. And today we have one from Olivia in Texas, and she writes in on YouTube. I just finished funding my 6-month emergency fund, and I'm ready to start investing. What are the best retirement plans to invest in? I love this, Olivia. Way to go, first of all, for getting debt-free, building that emergency fund of 6 months, and now you're at baby step 4. You're ready to begin investing that 15% of your household income into retirement.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. You're
going
to say, open a Dogecoin account.
No crypto. We're not doing that today,
not
John.
I meant get on the internet and find a bunch of artwork, digital artwork.
No NFTs either, John. Okay, let's stick to the basics here. Here are my 2 favorite retirement plans to invest in. Number 1 is the 401k. That is going to be through your employer, and it's just a type of account. It's not an actual investment in and of itself. You want to actually put investments inside of that 401k, like good growth stock mutual funds that we talk about all the time. The other type of retirement plan that I recommend is an IRA. That stands for Individual Retirement Arrangement. Did you know that, John?
I was going to say individual retirement account.
They're interchangeable, but the official terminology is arrangement. And this is basically another retirement account that's outside of your employer. So anyone with earned income can go open an IRA and start investing.
So I can't go open, if I had a great lawn business, I couldn't just go open a 401k on my own. I need to start opening an IRA.
Yes.
Okay.
Now there are employment options. If you're self-employed, there's other options.
That's right.
We'll get into it another time.
Okay.
But it sounds like she's got a normal employer here. So let's talk about this. Traditional. So a traditional 401k, traditional IRA. That doesn't mean that's old-timey. It just means that the money that you put in there is pre-tax. And that means that it's tax-deferred growth, meaning you will pay taxes on that when you pull the money out in retirement after 59.5.
So let's say I put $100,000 in. It grows to be $1 million. When I start pulling it out, I'm going to pay tax on the $900,000 that it's grown, right?
You'll pay taxes on all of
what
the
I withdraw.
Income. Yes.
Okay.
And here's the beautiful part about traditional is that there are tax advantages. So you can deduct that amount from your taxable income when it comes to tax time.
Okay.
So that's a nice part about traditional. But let me tell you about another friend named Roth. So on the other side is Roth. And what I love about Roth is that it grows tax-free. Meaning if I have $1 million in my Roth 401k, I have $1 million I can go spend, and Uncle Sam can't touch his hands on it.
But
now,
I put it in there after taxes.
Exactly. So you're already paying taxes on that money before it ever goes into the account. So either way, you're paying taxes. Let's make that clear. This isn't like a tax hack. We're getting around the IRS. We're going to pay taxes on this money. It's just a question of, am I going to do it now or am I going to do it later in retirement? So I'm a big fan, especially for younger people out there, to open up a Roth 401k or Roth IRA if you have that option. Here at Ramsey, we have a Roth 401k. It's a fantastic option, and I do my entire 15% in our Roth 401k. Mm-hmm. And the beautiful part is here at Ramsey and many employers, they have a match. And so the match is free money. It's 100% return on that investment. So Ramsey puts 4% in when I put 4% in. That is already right there. So we say that match beats Roth beats traditional, meaning we want to take the match first, then we want to move into a Roth option. So if you don't have a Roth option at work, let's go to the Roth IRA, let's fully fund that, then let's move back to the 401k, the traditional side, and finish out that 15%.
Very cool.
Now, if you have a Roth 401k and you've got good investment options in there, that's great. But the IRA will give you way more options. I mean, the sky's the limit with an IRA. The 401k is limited in the investment. So you want to make sure you've got good growth stock mutual funds in there that have a good proven track record. And many people do combinations depending on their situation. But reminder, a Roth 401k, a 401k, an IRA, these are not actual investments. They're just a bucket. It's a jar that you can then put investments in, and they are tax advantaged, which I love. And remember, we want to diversify here, John. We don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket.
I remember this.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
one
hit me in the
time.
face with a
It was
basket
one
of
time
eggs.
I had a basket of eggs, and I said, "Hey, John, hold this one basket for me." And then I slapped it out of his hand, and it went. Oh, it was wild.
I know. I've talked to my therapist about it.
Oh, you have a therapist?
No, actually, I talked to
It's
James
just
about
James.
it. I
Yeah,
talked
that's
to
right.
James.
Well, I mean, that sums it up for investment accounts. When it comes down to it, it's so simple.
But
People
you didn't
try to
mention
overcomplicate
crypto
it.
once, dude.
No, and that's the thing. People overcomplicate investments, and that's when things get out of hand. That's when they make bad financial decisions because they think, well, my buddy told me about this investment over here I should be doing. Man, the millionaires that we talk to, the stats are incredible. 79% became millionaires, they say, due to their employer-sponsored retirement plan. A 401k. That's it. If you want to become a millionaire, you don't need to get rich quick. You don't need to hit it big at the slots. You just need to do something simple and boring consistently over a long period of time. That is how the majority of millionaires got there.
And by the way, that same advice works for how you want to become a better husband, a better wife, better girlfriend, better boyfriend. Do little things consistently over time. You want to get in shape, be consistent with the workout, do it on a regular schedule.
There's no hack for me to get a six-pack by tomorrow, John?
There's a few, and
boy.
you'll pay for them later, right? Yes. Same with like changing your nutrition. I mean,
Yeah.
it's everything is be consistent, do it over and over a period of time, and the results take care of themselves.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for the question, Olivia. Call us back when you're a millionaire. All right, let's go to the phones. Adam joins us in New York City. Adam, welcome to the Ramsey Show. Are you with us, Adam? We lost Adam. It was so close. We were so close to helping Adam, and then we lost him. Well, we can move on, right, Kelly? Do you feel good about this? Okay. We got him.
He's back. What's up, Adam?
He was on mute. All right.
Hey,
What's up, dude?
How can we help, man?
that was a close one. I almost lost you guys.
No, we almost lost you. You would have been our first. What's up, man?
So I'm $26,000 in debt. 23 of that is in a car, and 3 is in a credit card. And the car is just way too much. The payments are just a big hassle every week, every month. I was just trying to see if I can relinquish the car, or maybe find someone to transfer the payments to, so I don't have to pay for it anymore.
Is it a lease or is it a traditional loan?
It's a loan.
Okay. What's the car worth?
It's worth $17,500, I believe.
$17,500. Okay. Well, one option is you keep the car and you keep making payments, but it sounds like that is not an option you can afford.
Yeah, it's killing me every month.
So in that case, you're going to be in the hole by about $6,000, right?
Yeah.
How much money do you have saved right now?
I about have like $1,000 altogether.
Okay, so you have that baby step one, $1,000.
When you say this thing's worth $17,000, is that, did you go call somebody and have them appraise it, or is that you looking on Kelley Blue Book?
Yeah, I went on a couple websites, and they all said about the same.
Okay, that's private sale. 6,000 is 6,000 underwater.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well, that's going to be your best bet. I mean, you could get a personal loan from your credit union. It's the only time we would ever tell you to go get a loan is when you're underwater on a car. But I still don't love that option for you. What's your household income?
It's about $30,000 a year.
Okay. Well,
maybe I do like that option.
We have got to get this income up. What are you doing for work?
I deliver for Amazon. I am getting a second job. I'm a bartender during the peak season, throughout the summer. So I'll be making. I usually make like $800 to $900 a week there.
All right.
And that's going to bump up my money.
Well, in New York City, people drink year round, I've found. So I'm going to be doing that every weekend.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Weekday if possible.
Yeah, definitely. I just had an interview yesterday for another place, so I start next week.
Okay. Are you doing a monthly budget?
Yes.
Okay. We need to tighten that thing down. I'm going to go ahead and gift you 1 year of Ramsey Plus. If you'll watch all the videos in Financial Peace University, you can get every $1 plus. Hang on the line. Kelly will get that for you. But, man, we've got to create margin here, and we have to get rid of this car. So if you can save up that $6,000 and be done with this car and the difference, that's what I'd be doing.
Or you go get a quick loan, get $1,000 on top of it, buy a $1,000 beater, get rid of this thing, and now you owe $8,000 instead of $7,000.
And get the worst car you have ever seen in your life. The more you hate it, the more I know it's the right car for you right now. You are broke, dude. You're living in New York City making $30,000 and you're 26 in debt. This is a problem, but we're rooting for you. Call us back when you're debt free. Call us back if we can help in any way. This is The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Dr. John Deloney. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. You can use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
All right, today's question comes from Jan in Indiana. Jan writes, my husband and I are in our early 50s and earn about $14,000 a month. We owe $120,000 in consumer debt and $180,000 on our home. With our income, I think we can pay off our debt by sticking to a budget. My husband thinks we need to sell our property, which is worth close to $1 million, because the feeling of being instantly out of debt will bring us peace. He's worried because we don't have any retirement savings. I can't seem to help him that with budgeting and sacrifice, we can be debt-free and still remain in our home. If we sell, I'm afraid he will be filled with regret over losing a home that we both love. How do we navigate this conversation of whether to dig in and pay off the debt or sell and be completely debt-free and also have money left over for retirement as well? So, George, this is really a two-part question. One is math, right? One is, should we sell this thing or not? Like, let's look at the numbers here. I think underneath that question is a terrified wife. I'm about to lose the home that I love.
Yeah.
A terrified husband who's thinking to himself, I haven't taken care of my family. And I feel like I've got a lottery ticket right now because house prices are inflated, right? And I could get it all back with one move. I could put it all on red 37. I could get it all back, right? So to answer, let's do this in reverse order, George. Like, how do we navigate this conversation of whether to dig in and pay off the debt? What I see, George, most couples get this conversation wrong is they approach this conversation about should we sell the house or not? Is it a good financial move? The question here is, I'm terrified. I need you to hear me say, I don't want to sell this house, and I'm afraid if we do, I'm going to regret it, you're going to regret it, and we've worked a long time to get this home thing the way where it is. So this conversation starts not with, I'm worried about what you're going to do. This is you saying, I'm absolutely terrified.
Put the fears on the table.
What are you scared about? And he's going to say, we got nothing. We're in our 50s now. We got no retirement. And I'm staring down the barrel of 10 or 20 more years of working years, and then what do I do now? You know what I mean? So both of them are scared. They both need to say that because that's a humanizing thing, and it puts them both on the same page. Now we're both scared. We got all our fears on the table, no secrets. Now we can go ahead and say, okay, how do we solve this problem?
Now we can look at the math.
Right. And so what I would tell him is this. I get it. But here's what's going to happen. You haven't stuck by a budget. You don't have the behaviors. You don't have the actions as a part of who you are, as part of your identity. So you can go get lap band surgery if you don't commit to doing life differently after that, to also having counseling, also getting some people around you, some nutritional support. You're going to end up where you were. So you're going to sell this house. You're going to pay off all your debt. You're going to be debt free. You're going to try to find some really tiny house, and then you go with you. And now we're right back to the guy who doesn't follow the budget, who doesn't get on board with his wife, who doesn't do things together, right? See what I'm saying? So you end up with the same thing. You haven't addressed the core symptoms here.
Exactly. Leapfrogging and getting the get out of jail free card by selling the house. I'm not mad at that option.
Occasionally,
it's a viable option, but they don't. If they made $4K a month, I'd say, yeah, you guys are broke. They make $14K a month. They're making $168 a year, and they have $120 in consumer debt. So math gives me hope in a situation like this because I look at it and go, all right, if we can put $10K of the 14 towards debt, we're debt-free in 12 months. In 1 year, we're completely consumer debt-free. And doing the same thing, 18 months after that, we don't have a mortgage anymore.
Right.
So in 2.5 years total, you went from $300,000 in debt to not owing anyone anything, and now we can invest like crazy.
And let's be clear, you're asking them to suck it up.
Yeah.
This is a major life change. But I want you to hear what she's saying. She's not saying, I'm worried about him. She's saying, because my husband won't be responsible, I'm about to lose my house. Mm-hmm. That's what she's saying. And when he hears that, he's going to go, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want that. I don't want that to be the message here. Let's make some major changes for 28 to 32 months.
Yeah.
And let's change everything.
What I like about Plan 1 with Jan's plan is going, hey, let's say we have a paid-for house in 2.5 years and no debt. We can still sell the house. If our retirement is not looking good and things go haywire, we can downsize and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
We can survive in retirement.
And then let's start putting $8,000 to $9,000 a month into retirement and really start hitting the gas.
Crank it up.
Right.
Yeah. So I like Plan 1 because I think the behavior change is going to affect the marriage. It's going to affect our life in the best way possible versus leapfrogging.
That's right.
So thanks for the question, Jan.
It's a great question, Jan. And by the way, I'm right here with her husband. If I look at that same situation, I'd be thinking, I could just get us out of this right now. Yeah. I get that. I'd rather see you change your identity.
All right, let's go to the phones this hour. It's a free call, 888-825-5225. Mike joins us in Buffalo, New York. Mike, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Sure. How can we help?
Okay, so I'm 28. I'm living at home. I actually moved out of a apartment that I was living at. It was just too much rent, so I decided to move back. I got a little beater car now. And, I depleted my $1,000 emergency fund to get it. But now I want to move back out, and I just don't know if I should be saving up the $1,000 before I move out, or if I should kind of treat this like sort of an emergency, I guess.
Why do you want to move out?
I'm in a relationship right now, and it's not the best situation. We don't see each other too much, and it's just I feel like it's kind of putting a strain on things, to be honest.
Yeah. Are you safe at home?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, as far as I have a great relationship with my parents. It's just everything outside of that.
It sounds to me like you're going to trade one strain for another. That you're going to trade financial strain, get your feet under you. I mean, what are we talking? We're talking like 3 more months, 90 more days, 120 days of hammering it. Like, man, if your relationship can't, if you're with somebody and you say, hey man, for the next 3 or 4 months, I'm gonna make a move that's gonna change our future forever, my future forever, and they're not all in your corner 100%, then that bodes that's a shadow over your relationship. If you run out for this new relationship, you're going to not be able to go out. You're going to find yourself in debt. You're going to end up back in these same places. And then at some point, my brother, I'm telling you, you're going to end up back in your parents' house. I'd much rather see you just suck it up and get this thing knocked out.
Okay.
Mike, what's your income right now?
I got a new job about 2 months ago. I'm making about $40K a year.
Okay. You need to save this baby step 1 in a few weeks. And it may mean taking some extra side jobs right now. Baby step 1 is very fast. So no, there's no pausing baby step 1. It's a number of days. So there's no pausing here, dude. You have $0 to your name. Yeah. And you don't even pay rent.
How old
you should
are
be able
you?
to save this thing up so fast.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
How much debt do you have?
About just under 30,000.
Yeah, man. There's something I'm missing because you've got crisis in your voice, and the numbers aren't telling me crisis.
Mm-hmm.
What's the panic?
So, I mean, the past couple of years, I mean, I've been listening to you guys for about 3 years, Dave and everybody else. I've wanted to do, follow the plan. I actually just joined FPU just yesterday,
Awesome.
doing an online class. And, I want to take this more serious because, it just seems like with, relationships and even work life has just been so volatile the past couple of years, even before the pandemic started.
That's right. So let today be the day. Let today be the day, man.
I don't want you calling back in 3 more years saying, well, it's just been a crazy time.
That's right.
Dude, life's crazy. You need some stability in your life, and that means getting that baby step 1, paying off your debt, and then we can focus on moving out and focusing on this relationship. You're too broke to be in a relationship right now. You can't breathe.
And you need some little wins, brother. You signed up. That's a win. You need to get that $1,000 emergency fund this month. That's a win. We're going to keep inching towards this thing, okay? I'm proud of you. Today's the day.
Welcome back, America. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Dr. John Deloney. All right, John, we got to talk about something because it's on everyone's hearts and minds, and that is cars. Everyone's losing their minds. The car market has lost its mind. Up in here. And we are both are in the market for a car, and it's a very stressful time when you're trying to do it, especially with cash.
Okay, so you are currently purchasing one. I did recently, a few months ago. It was the strangest interaction I've ever had when it comes to transaction. It got to where I wrote a check, and I was looking at the salesman, and because it was like, hey, well, we need to talk to you about this, and if you finance it here, and I said, look, dude, I got a check, and I felt like I was talking to my son. I said, I want to give you this, and I want you to give me that.
You
it's
have a thingy.
Right
I have
there.
money.
You have the key. I can see it. Just give me that, and I'll give you this. Like, well, we gotta go through these meetings. And I said, I'm not gonna buy any of your special clear coats. I don't want any extended warranty. I just want that. Could you just take this? Can I just give you this? Can I just give you this, man? It was such an event that I ended up leaving, and then we called back, and I said, hey, how about this? Just bring it by. We literally like a mile and a half down there. Just drop it off here. I'll give you this giant check for it. Dude, it was easier to buy my house than it was to buy a car with cash.
Wow.
And you're in the middle of it now. Has it gotten worse?
Yeah, I just tried yesterday. And here's the thing.
Okay, so fill me in on this.
Literally, I'm going to pitch this article to you to prove what I'm experiencing.
Okay.
Wall Street Journal, here's the headline. Car dealerships don't want your cash.
Oh, there you go.
They want to give you a loan.
There you go.
Buyers say dealerships are pushing them to borrow because they make more money that way. The hot car market is giving them the opportunity.
So every time in history, it's if you'll pay with cash, it's actually cheaper.
Yeah.
We'll get the deal done faster. And now they're upcharging you, right?
Yes, and the numbers show this, John. If you finance a car, the dealership makes $3,000-$4,000. If you just pay cash, they're going to make hundreds of dollars, maybe $1,000. So they're making way less if you pay cash. They're making money off the financing deals. If they can get you to finance, they get kickbacks from the lenders. They have their own financing. They're making money from that. And so it's actually increasingly difficult to buy a car with cash. Now, this is not your excuse, America, to go, well, I'm going to go get a car loan because it's too hard to pay with cash. I'm not going to get a discount. You still have to pay with cash. You will not go into debt for a car. But here's my experience, John. I said, hey, I'm not going to finance. I was just straight up with them, which, problem number one, honesty. Shouldn't have done that. And they go, okay, well, it's going to cost you $1,000 more if you're going to pay in full. And I went, okay, well, I guess you're not getting my business then. And so I just said, hey,
let's be clear. The check you're about to write's a decent-sized check.
Yeah.
It's a good check.
Yeah, and so I said, here's what I'm willing to pay. Mm-hmm. You call me back if you can do that. Otherwise, it's the end of the conversation. And that's what happened. And I just got a text while we're doing the show that was like, hey, let's talk ASAP. I've got some updates for you. And so this is the digital version of the walk away.
God, I don't even know what that is.
So here's what this comes down to. The walk, you just walk out of the dealership.
Oh, yeah.
And they chase you out and go, no, John, come back in. And so here's what I want you to know. The person with the most patience, the most information, and the most options always wins. In any spending decision. When you're not desperate, you can make a better decision. Yeah. When you have options, you can make a better decision.
When you're willing to walk out the door.
Yes. So here's what I want to tell you guys. Do your research. There's so many avenues online to research the exact car you want. You will know more than the dealership does about that car by the time you walk in there. Number two, I want you to make sure that you know the exact value of your trade-in. And here's the thing. If you've got a trade-in, appraise it before you get the out-the-door price. Because otherwise, they start finagling it on the back end.
They wind it down
to charge you more.
Yeah.
When you say, no, you said my car's worth $4,000, that's what we're going to do here. And the out-the-door price includes all of the taxes and fees, the doc fees, all that stuff. That is the number we need to aim at. You don't have to say, hey, I'm not going to finance today. You can save that to the end if you really want to, stick the knife in and go slap the check on the table.
See, I'm like you. I'm like, hey, it's a cash deal. I'm going to walk out today with this car. I've already driven
Skip
it. I want
games.
that one. Can we just not play a game? Yeah,
they do the Foursquare and they go, we can get your payments down to whatever you want.
Yeah, not really that kind of guy.
No.
It's cool.
So here's what I want you to do. Go in with a cashier's check, maybe a little bit below the asking price. Like, here's what I would love to pay for this car. And when they see that check in hand, they're still going to go, well, we could make $26,000 right now, or we can hope that someone finances it in the next month, or we get a car off our lot and get a trade-in. Now, if they go above that cashier's check and you still feel like it's a good deal, that's okay. You can supplement that with your own check, with cash, whatever that looks like. So you don't need the exact number on the table there.
And I do think it's important to call out here. So there's a whole bunch of car dealerships trying to do right by people.
Some good guys
There's
out there.
a great guy, Larry, in Paducah. That's a lot of our people here at Ramsey do business with. Great human being that's trying to help people out, trying to put them in cars. And so this isn't all car dealerships are bad. And I hadn't bought a car in a long time. And it used to be they put something in the paper. I don't know if you remember what those days were like, or they put something online and then you go haggle. I do understand now, like after talking with the guys and getting some more information, that buying a car is different now. The idea you're going to go in and get $8,000 off, those days are not here.
Yes.
Right? So as a buyer, don't be a jerk. Don't be a moron. Don't squeeze the.
Be kind.
Be a good human being.
Yeah.
Say, this is what I can afford to pay. I want that car. Let's shake hands. And then if you can't, walk out the door.
Yes. But agreeing on that out-the-door price is the key.
Yeah.
Because if you agree on that, then it doesn't matter what they say about financing. Yeah. No, we agreed. This is the price of the car. And please, look at the contract. And if there's anything beyond a small doc fee and your sales tax for the state, county you live in, run. If they're trying to tack on all these extra things and warranties, they force walk out of there. I'm not paying anything but a small doc fee, and if you can get rid of that, that's even better. And then the taxes, which yes, we have to pay our taxes on sales tax on these cars.
Yeah.
So do that. Walk in with a cashier's check. Don't walk in with a barrel full of cash, of actual physical dollars. That is a terrible move. It's dangerous. They've got to report it to the IRS. They don't want to deal with that hassle. So yes, we say pay cash. We don't actually mean take a briefcase like it's an old school movie.
It's kind of baller though.
It is. I've known people who've done it, and they get laughed out of there. They go get a cashier's check. We're not playing that game. So, be patient. do your research, know your options. Don't go on a Saturday when it's packed out. Go at the end of the month on a weeknight when it's not raining so that you can actually do the inspection and not be in a rush. And that's going to help you make the best financial decision and be willing to sacrifice. I know you wanted this exact specification. It's okay. If you've got another option and you're desperate, then you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Don't buy a car right now unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah, don't buy a car. Ta-da, get it fixed. Clean it.
That's right. James gets it. Now, Ken and I took a call about a Snosberry Jeep, and the wife really wanted this exact Jeep color. It was the only one to get, and we had to talk her off the ledge. And I was like, Snosberry is not even a color. Let's not pretend that you need this exact Jeep at this exact time.
That's like a Willy Wonka candy bar, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly. It's from Willy Wonka.
A Snosberry Jeep.
Very stressful stuff.
I'm in.
James, did we hit everything in this article?
I was going to say, what about private sale?
Private sale. Let's talk about private sale, John. This is very important as well.
Okay.
That is when you can actually negotiate, is with a private sale. You can get more money if you're selling that way, and you can actually negotiate. Because if I'm just going to John, he's got no incentives from the financing lenders to make money.
He needs money.
He just wants the money.
He wants to sell his car.
So I would be on Facebook Marketplace looking for these. There's some third-party sites like Auto Trader where people are just listing their cars for sale. So that's where I would start my research and see if I can work it out. And always, always get an inspection on the car from a mechanic. This will cost you about $100, but no matter who's selling it, go get an inspection from a reputable mechanic before you go slap 10 grand down because it's a deal, and then you find out there are some major issues that you didn't know about until you're going over 60 on the interstate and it starts rattling, right?
The transmission falls out.
Yes. So you've got to do the inspection, negotiate with cash in hand, be a kind person, commit, say, hey, I've got cash today. If you can do this deal, I'll show up. And so that's how to navigate this market, John. It's not fun. I totally feel empathy for people that really need a car. And you can find a car, by the way, that's under $15,000, under $10,000. We get a lot of flack for that. People go, you can't find a car. You can't beater cars. They don't exist. Go to Auto Trader, wherever, and do sort by lowest price.
They exist.
There's some great cars for $4,000, $5,000, $3,000. Suck it up.
No one's going to stop you in a parking lot and be like, whoo.
Yeah.
I want some of this. No, it's not that kind of car.
I've never been stopped.
But it'll get you where you need to go.
That's right. Well, that puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to John Deloney, my co-host, and all the folks in the booth who are doing a great job keeping the lights on. And you, America, we appreciate you listening. We'll be back with you before you know it.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your money, your boundaries, your mental health, your relationships, your career, all of it. And we do it right in front of you here on The Ramsey Show. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225 is the number to call. I'm George Camel, joined today by my good friend, Dr. John Deloney, and together, we hopefully can help you. That is the hope, John.
That's the hope. I see you milking this my good friend thing, but I'll take it.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Samantha is kicking off this hour. She's in Austin, Texas. Samantha, welcome to the show.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you guys for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So I'm in a bit of a dilemma. I had bought a house a couple years ago when I was married, and since then I've become divorced. And so something that I've been trying to decide on is if I'm going to stay in the house or if I am going to sell it. And then recently I've looked more into it, and I actually this week put it up on a market or a listing with some real estate agents in our area and received a really good offer. But as I got the offer, I kind of am debating, I guess you can say. I want to sell it to pay off all the debts that I've incurred since getting the house.
Yeah. Well, Samantha, I'm so sorry that you've gone through this, still going through this, grieving from this. That's one of the most difficult things a person can experience.
Thank you.
How much debt do you have?
So I have about $70,000 in debt. But
what is that
30
debt?
of it. 30 of it came from repairs that we did on the house over the last 3 years, and then the other 40,000 is student loan debt.
Okay. And then what's your equity going to be if you took this offer that you have in front of you? What's your equity?
It would be about 50,000.
So you'd still owe 20 after the sale?
Yes, it would. I would pay off definitely the repairs for the house so that I could get rid of it altogether, and then just keep the student loan debt, like pay off most of it, and then have that about 20,000 left.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
Okay, so you're about 55, 65,000 a year income.
About 50.
About 50. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Okay, so what's the financial picture look like with this house? Can you afford the payment? Did you refinance?
Yes, I actually did refinance from a 30-year mortgage to a 15-year mortgage just a little bit after the divorce, and it puts a lot more towards the actual house payment versus the interest.
What's the percentage of your take-home pay that the mortgage is going towards?
I pay $900 to my mortgage, and my take-home pay is about a little over $3,000.
Okay.
So your debt to income ratio is an emergency, but it's not caustic. You hear what I'm saying? It's not like you make $50,000 a year and you owe $300,000, right? You owe 70. It's a lot, and you're gonna have to work really hard. It's gonna take you a while to pay it all off, but I also, on the other side, understand from just sitting with people for years, when you have the loss of somebody passes away that you love, like your husband or your wife, right? When you have a divorce and you have these major events, there's something about I need everything to be different now, right? I need to change it all, and I'm getting from you, and you tell me if I'm wrong, push back on me, that you don't love this house, but if you sell this house, your old life is official. It's over. There's a period at the end of that sentence. And you know that you need to do that, but you don't it's so hard to actually walk out of that funeral home. Am I right? Am I right or wrong?
I didn't look like that, but I mean, I can definitely see how that's right. I think there's a part of me that loves the house because we've put so much into it.
But there's also the key word there is we, right? And this was our house, and now it's just my house, and there's something weird about that. I don't, George. I won't. I think this is one of those rare moments that you do what's best for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the financial picture, and I'm going, with rent right now, if you sold this thing, you're paying $900 right now, you're going to jump to $1,500, $1,800 to go rent somewhere, and trying to find another house. I mean, what are the home prices in your area? Could you even get something else?
You're in Austin. It's bunkers.
And you're in debt, so you have no money, so you're going to have to rent. So I imagine rent is more than $900 in Austin right now.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
So I would actually go and live with a relative, and so it would basically cut what I'm paying in half, like including utilities and all that. My monthly cost for housing.
Is that a good move, or is that are you running to something or away from something?
Oh, neither. It was just I was trying to figure out what I could do financially, like, because I don't want to be in debt, and it all sort of came on within the past 3 years.
Okay.
Because before I only had my student loans.
I mean, I like that option if it's a good relationship and they're okay with it, but I would set boundaries for what this looks like. This is not a forever thing. Hey, 1 year from now, after I move in, I'm going to move out because I'm going to have my debt paid off and have an emergency fund.
Or we're going to do this for 18 months. I'm going to pay you this. When do you want me in? We're not going to have dinner every night together. I'm busy. I'm a teacher. Also, this summer, I'm going to get a second job and work like a maniac because I'm going to get this debt paid off. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, Samantha. If you've got that situation, I'm going to sell the house. Then you're going to have $20,000 left on the student loans. You're going to then pay those student loans off very quickly and save up 3 to 6 months in an emergency fund. Once you do that, I think then we need to go, okay, we're going to leave. We're going to fly the coop. We're going to go rent somewhere. We're going to start saving up a down payment while we're renting, and we're going to take the extra jobs. We're going to tutor on the side. It's going to be a grind regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to repaint the living room myself. I'm going to repaint the bedroom myself, and I'm going to stay in this house. I'm only paying $900 a month. It's continuing to appreciate. Everyone on planet Earth is trying to move to Austin right now. So I'm in a good spot, but I need some healing. But I can do that here.
Yeah.
I think it's a question that you got to answer. I'd love to see you do the math on this. What is actually paying $400 a month, $450 a month over the
how much faster would this speed up my process?
How much faster is that going to get me out of debt, save up 3 to 6 months of emergency fund? Like, how is that going to work for me versus staying here?
Yeah. Either way, there's going to be a lot of sacrifice in the next 2-3 years of your life. But man, it will set you free if you can go either way and get rid of this debt and have that weight not hanging on your shoulders on top of a recent divorce. You're going to be a new woman, and you're going to have a new picture of what life for Samantha looks like in Austin.
Yeah. I hate this for you, though. I hate that you're here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the call, Samantha. We're pulling for you, especially for teachers, John. I know you have a big heart for teachers. It's a tough time to be a teacher, let alone a divorced teacher right now.
Yeah. It's just a lot of rejection and tough. And this is one of those mushy answers that it's either way, 6 1/2 dozen another, what's best for you. But I get that there's a lot of emotion wrapped up in that
What I don't
house.
want is the foot goes off the pedal and we just get comfortable.
There you go.
So either way, this debt is going to be out of our lives sooner rather than later. Thanks so much for the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. All right, folks, if you've ever been to one of our live events, you know they're a starting point for huge life change. These are sellout, action-packed events, and it's time to bring them back on the road, and we are not holding back this year. First up, we've got Building Wealth Live. It's coming to Orlando on Thursday, May 19th, and this thing is selling fast. So if you're waiting around to buy your ticket, don't do that. It's going to sell out. And you'll want to stay tuned because we'll be announcing cities for 5 more of these Building Wealth events very soon. We're also bringing our largest event of the year to Dallas on October 22nd. That's right, Smart Conference is back. There's really no better way to spend a Saturday than gathering with a community of people who are all motivated to make real change in their lives. That's what Smart Conference is all about. Don't miss it, guys. I'll be at both of those events. John will be at both of those events. We're going to have a great time, and if you want to learn more about them, visit RamseySolutions.com/events. We would love to see you in your community on the road. All right, let's go to Celeste. She joins us in San Diego. Celeste, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I'm 32 years old. I have an extra $30,000 saved. What do you think I should do with the money? I have a student loan of about $15,000, a car loan of about $20,000, and then a mortgage, but no IRA, no 401k, just trying to figure out, get ideas about what next steps should be.
Sure. Well, I appreciate the call. How long you been listening to us?
for a very long time. So I do know about the baby steps, and I was just kind of reluctant in paying off the car loan and the student loan, because with the student loan, I don't know whether or not there's actually going to be student loan forgiveness. So I'm holding off on that. With the car loan, it's just, sometimes too, it's nice to be able to see kind of that $30K just sitting there in case of a
Celeste, you're looking at everything through some rose-colored glasses right now, and I want you to look at reality. You're all of that hard work that you're putting in is keeping you broke because you're making those payments to lenders every month. And there's just as much of a chance as a crater taking us all out as there is of you getting those student loans forgiven. I mean, it's 1%. That's the actual number of people who have applied and have actually gotten forgiveness is 1%. So do you have any money in savings right now other than the $30K? Is that everything to your name?
About $30K, yeah.
Okay. So I want you to follow this plan, not because we're so right, but it's because the plan works every time you work it. So 1,000 of that we're going to keep in the savings. 29 of that we're going to throw at the debt in order of smallest to largest. So it sounds like the student loans are gone today, and most of the credit card debt is gone today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leaving you with $6,000 to pay off. What's your income?
About $92K.
Heck yeah.
Celeste, you're debt-free like in a month and a half.
So $92K, you've got some freed-up payments, right? Because you got rid of the student loan debt. You got rid of most of the credit card debt, and so that $6K is going to be gone really fast. Then we're going to build up 3 to 6 months for emergencies in a savings account, and then we can move on to investing. So I know you said you don't have an IRA, 401k. You're 32. You've got a good 30 years left to invest and become a millionaire, and you'll get there, but we got to start doing things in order on purpose. And right now we're kind of just floating and hoping, and maybe this will happen. And I kind of like seeing the money over here. And it sounds like you're comfortable with your financial situation when you really should be angry at it.
But I want you two things, okay? Can I give you two hard pieces of reality?
Uh-huh.
Here's hard piece number one. You are renting your perceived security. That $30,000 you see in the bank, you're renting that feeling from your car loan people and from the credit card people and from the higher ed loan folks. So whatever you're paying in interest, whatever's accruing, that's the monthly charge for you to go, oh, but look at that $30,000. It's so cute. It keeps me safe. And so you're paying for that, okay? It's costing you money. The other thing, and this is, I've had close friends in higher ed who are professors who argue with me about this. This is my take on the student loan thing. When I went to college, was a uneducated, naive 18-year-old, and I took out a bunch of loans. Then I went to grad school. My wife went to grad school. We kept going to grad school. We kept taking on more loans to the tune of 6 figures, a lot. I didn't fully understand what I was getting into. And by I didn't fully, I had no idea what I was doing to my long-term life. And I looked at somebody and said, if you will help me get through college, I'll pay you back. I signed my name to that paper and said, I owe you this money. And so for me, paying loans back instead of like, I'm waiting on this thing, it wasn't that. I have some of my law students, they specifically went into different forms of law that pay way less money because they want to serve their communities. That's a different thing because they shook hands with the government and the government has completely screwed them on that deal. But for the rest of us who are just like, well, I heard it's going to go away, so I'm just going to sit on it. I went back to the mirror. It's an integrity issue for me. I said I'd pay you back, and so I'm going to. And so waiting around, are they going to punt it? Are they going to move? Just get rid of it. You said you'd pay it back. You got the cash. Pay it back and be done with your life. And if you pay it back, and then Monday, Biden comes out and is like, you're all free. You can go, oh, that sucks. And then you're going to go about your life. Move on. You know what I mean? And you're going to know I was a person of integrity. I did what I said I was going to do. I paid back the money that I was owed. And then I'm going to move back on with my life. Very similar to when Dave declared bankruptcy, which is legal. All his debts went away. And then he started this business and he made a bunch of money. He went back and paid them all back. Because he said, I said I was going to pay you, and that's the right thing to do. So that's a not popular opinion when it comes to higher ed. I know people got ripped off and signed up on things they didn't. I get all of that. And I'm not against forgiveness. But right now, you got the money, and you said you're going to pay him back. And so I say pay him back and move on about your day.
Yeah, you're in a great situation, Celeste, with the fact that you've got a great income and you actually have money. Most people who call in are making $30,000. They have $0 to their name, and they have $35,000 in debt.
Yeah.
So take advantage of the situation by being done with this debt forever. And I see myself in Celeste because when I was 24, I had $40,000 in debt, and I didn't even make half of what Celeste made.
Yeah.
I made like maybe a third of that, and I got out of debt in 2 years, which tells me Celeste can do it a whole lot faster, especially with this chunk of change she has.
That's right.
Good stuff. All right, let's go to Kelly in San Diego. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Hi, John. Hi, George. How are you guys doing?
What's up?
How can we help?
So I'm 22 years old, and my question is, I went to a university for a year and then some community college, but I just really don't think college is for me, but I do really want to be successful. You know, I think I have a pretty good working background for my age, but I don't really know what I want to do in the long term, and is it even possible for me to be successful without a degree?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That was easy. So no, you don't need to go to college, but yes, you do need to figure out what that thing is and get the right education and skills to do that.
If you want to be a surgeon, a nurse, a doctor, an engineer, an architect, you need to go to college. If you want to be a famous writer, that will give you a leg up. There's a lot of things you can do. College really is great for you. One of the myths we have right now is that you should pay $100,000 and just kind of fishtail around and figure out what it is on the way.
Just vibe it out.
Yeah, you just vibe it out. You're in a position right now that I think it'd be great if you have no idea what you want to do, which I don't think that's true. I bet if we pressed on it a little bit, if Ken was here, he could drill down real quick. You probably have some things that you love and that you're really good at. I'd love to see you work really, really, really hard over the next 12 to 18 months, get around some people who are ahead of you in some jobs, see what that's like, what management's like, what's doing some other stuff's like, and then it will begin to shape what you actually want to do. Hang on the line here. We'll give you a copy of Ken's career assessment.
Get clear
assessment that kind of helps you. Hey, what do I want to do? And we'll give you a copy of his best-selling book, From Paycheck to Purpose, that kind of walks through how do I find this job that I love. The data is true. You go to college, over the long run, you're going to make more money, you're going to do some stuff. But there's a bunch of jobs, millions of jobs, that are desperate for people that require no.
The data also shows that people
degree.
are broke, even with their degrees in great jobs, because they can't breathe with student loan payments.
Right.
So you don't need to go to college. Hang on. Kelly's going to pick up. She'll get you From Paycheck to Purpose and the Get Clear assessment. Appreciate the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined by Dr. John Deloney. You hear us say all the time, folks, that everyone needs a will. And it's true. It's a basic adult responsibility, and there's no good excuse not to have one. The fastest, most cost-effective way to get your will taken care of is by doing it online. And a lot of folks ask us if a simple online will is right for everybody. And I get that. What if you need a trust or a mirror will? What about powers of attorney and all kinds of things? Well, to help you answer those questions, our team built a really simple, easy quiz that will help you decide on the right option. You'll get custom results based on basic info, like if you're single or married, where you live, or even the size of your estate. Once you're done, you'll know exactly what you need, and you're going to understand it way better. So visit RamseySolutions.com/WillsQuiz to check it out for yourself. The quiz takes a few minutes, and it'll put you on the path to protect your family and your wishes. That's RamseySolutions.com/WillsQuiz. All right, let's go to the phones this hour. Caleb joins us in Indianapolis. Caleb, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
What's up, man?
Oh, not much. I had kind of a career question for you guys. I started a new job about 2 months ago, and that time I've been fully remote. The week I started, the company instituted a booster requirement.
Okay.
But since we've been fully remote, they haven't really enforced it. However, today they basically said a month from today, everyone has to be in the office 2 days a week, and they are enforcing the booster.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of at a crossroads. Like I'm not boosted. Trying to figure out kind of the best way to handle this, especially being so new into the role. Just kind of the best way to go about this.
So, man, I've had this conversation a lot over especially the last year. Here's the simplest way to go about it. Do you want to get the booster and keep your job? Or do you feel strongly about not getting the booster and you're just going to need to go find another job?
Yeah.
And what I've found is any other angst you give yourself, any other rage, I get all that, whatever side of this you fall on. But any additional weight you bring to the conversation beyond answering those two questions is a choice for you. You're choosing to be more miserable. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel really strongly, I'm not doing this, great. Go get another job. Just be in the market today. Start applying today. You got all weekend. Get after it. If you say, man, I hate this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it, great. Then go do it with a smile on your face and then go on about your day. Anything other than that is a choice to be miserable. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's just difficult because it was like, if this requirement was in place when I was going through the process, I wouldn't have even accepted the job. And then I was well, maybe I can make it work for, as long as they'll let me. And then obviously today that kind of all blew up. So
that's right. That's right.
Just trying to understand and also trying to make a clear decision, not obviously a little emotional, just, the suddenness of it. Coming on today, but also understanding I have kind of a month-long runway to figure out what I need to do, but just kind of wanted to get an outside opinion on kind of the best way to
How old are you, man?
about it. So, I'm 26.
26. All right. So is this your first or second, third big job?
This is my second job. I actually just left at the end of the year, my first job out of college for this position.
Okay. So the vaccine it's a lightning rod. Okay, and you are wise beyond your years to say, I want to exhale a little bit and get some perspective. But here's what I want to tell you: for the rest of your life, jobs you take you're gonna start a job on Monday and you're gonna get reorged on Tuesday. I started this job with no radio experience and an 18-month plan to learn how this thing works, and then COVID kicked off, and Dave said, "Well, congratulations, you're on the radio." Right? We had to figure this out live, and I've made a train wreck of a few things, and so. Then there's a reorg, then there's a this, and then, hey, we're not going to be able to do retirement funding matching this year because it's always going to be a thing. And so, and this is with all of your relationships, all of your life, there's always going to be a thing. I'm living in a house, and then the county raises my taxes. I live in a country, and now they require, whatever the thing is, make the decision you're going to make and then be at peace with it and go on about your day. Don't choose to stew and spin and be angry and talk about it and call everybody and Facebook about it. That's just choosing misery. And that misery has a physical toll on your heart, on your brain, on your body. Don't do it. Just say, I'm in or I'm out, and then I'm going to go on about it. And you're making grown-up decisions for whatever reason, great, man, I'm proud of you. Do you have somebody in your life that you trust that you can sit down and talk to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm married and we're in a good church too. So
I reach out to a man that you trust. Not to say your wife is going to be Team Caleb, Or maybe she's going to be absolutely opposite Team Caleb if you're in my house. But find a man in your church that's 10 years down the road, that's 35, 40, and say, hey, can I take you out for coffee? Here's what I'm wrestling with. I just started this job. Here's what I'm thinking through. And let them speak some wisdom into you. And I'm not saying wisdom on what you should do, but it helps take the emotion out of this thing. We can look at this objectively. I do that when I get emotional about decisions, and I still do, right? I get somebody that I trust to help me walk through it. I make the decision, and then I'm on about my day, man, just because I'm not going to choose to poison myself. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Caleb, I'm less emotional than John.
Definitely helpful.
Yeah.
So I'll walk you through a different scenario here. How much do you make right now?
With a bonus, I'm at 101.
Wow, way to go, man. 101 at 26 years old. You're crushing it. So tell me this. Here's how I look at it. If someone said, hey, if you get the booster, I'll give you $101,000 a year forever, I'd be like, okay, well, now it's a decision to consider. But if you say, hey, my principles, my values, tell me no, it's not worth that, well, then we have to turn that down and go, okay, I got to go find to work somewhere else that will hopefully pay me that much or more that will allow me to still have these values and beliefs. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your line of work?
I'm an accountant.
Okay, cool. So in accountant world, you can find another accounting job in Indianapolis, right, that may have less strict policies.
Mm-hmm.
Or here's the thing, your values may say, I can't be in Indianapolis anymore. Your values may say, I can't be in this community. Like what, you see what I'm saying? So it's where these values go, and they're your values. That's the beauty of them. And I'm going to pick them. I'm going to hold them firm, and then I'm going to go about my life, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, if the matrix is, there's not a lot I wouldn't do for $101,000.
I just try to take the emotions out of it for a second and go, okay, let's look at logic on paper versus just the emotions. I think both are important.
The other side is, I won't work for a company who chooses to insert themselves into my life at this level. I don't want that sort of control, right? Great, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then be at peace with it.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what I've been struggling with. It's like, if you can't trust me to make like a medical decision for myself, how can you even trust me to like do my job correctly? And I think that's really like what I've been wrestling with.
So hey,
on the flip side of it.
So here's what I want to really caution you against. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned this. It's an old psychological principle called the fundamental attribution error. Okay, it's when you get inside somebody else's head and try to decide for them why they just did what they did. And then you respond to your perception of why they did what they just did, and you get mad about it or angry about it or happy about it or whatever. So what I'll tell you is, get out of people's heads. Whether it's your wife, whether it's your workplace, just look at the policy on the paper. They're asking me to do this. This violates my values. I got a month. Cool. I'm out. Have a great week. Here's a micro version of this. You walk in from a hard day of accounting, and your wife left her shoes by the door again, and you trip over them, and you can think, she just did that to make me... Dude, you could get in her head and think that, or you could say, man, my wife's probably really exhausted, and something must be going on. I'm going to pick these things up, and I'm going to do the dishes too, right? So you get to pick how you respond here. I'd say get out of your company's head. They don't trust me to... Nope, they had nothing to do with you. They made a policy. Just say, am I going to follow this policy or not? And then I'm going about my day.
One of those choices is filled with anxiety, and one is just freedom.
This is life. What am I going to do next? That's right.
Yeah. Well, good luck with the decision, Caleb, no matter what you end up with. But you're crushing it, man. 26, 100K, not so bad. I'll take that. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined today by Dr. John Deloney. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day comes from Hebrews 10:23. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. Henry David Thoreau said, "None are so old as those who have outlived enthusiasm."
Oh, I
Wow,
love that quote.
That's really good. Good stuff, Henry. Wherever he is today. Good stuff.
He's not here, George.
I know. It was a joke, John. Thoreau just sounds like it's from the 1800s.
It does.
So there we go. Let's go to the phones this hour. Devin joins us in Wichita. Devin, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you guys doing today?
Great. How can John and I help?
I just had a question about the feeling of resentment towards my stepbrother and his girlfriend when they finance cool items, and me and my wife save up over time for those same items.
Hey, can you, Devin, talk directly into your phone there for me?
Sorry about that.
There we go.
There you go. Okay. Say that again.
So you have resentment towards your brother and your sister-in-law because they're financing things, and you save up for things and paying cash.
Yes, him and his girlfriend.
Are they financing things through your bank account?
No, just it's the idea that they have cool items now when me and my wife are saving up over time for those cooler items later on.
Oh.
What's a cool item?
Well, they just bought a house and they're both 22, and we're still saving up for a down payment. And I know that they loaned a down payment, so it's technically not a down payment. But
so
and now they're talking about getting cool cars and whatnot. So
a few weeks ago, so one cool thing about working at Ramsey is there's a lot of people have this is like a sugar addict's nightmare. There's lots of bowls of candy around this place. And so I grabbed a handful on the way out from somebody's desk, and I took it home to my kids. I've got a 11, almost 12-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And my 6-year-old is allergic to peanuts and things, and so I gave my 11-year-old several pieces of candy. And all I had for my 6-year-old was just a little bit, so I gave it to her. And she's 6. And she said, "But you gave Hank this stuff." And I said, "Yeah, I know, and I brought you this. I'm trying to keep you alive. I'm trying to keep you from being dead." And in her 6-year-old sweet little mind, there was this great injustice that had just happened. And I tell you this because she was 6. 6! As a country, we have decided that we don't let her vote or buy guns or drink beer because she's 6. So, fast forward to you, Brother Devin. Why is this getting into you so much? You and your wife are working hard. You're doing right. You're trying not to end up on the side of the road, which is where your other family members are clearly going to end up. Why is this getting in your soul so much? Because you're not 6.
Well, we both grew up in families where financing was just a normal situation.
Okay.
So we've always grew up around nicer cars or finance cars. So they were always, a year, maybe 2 years from new. And ever since I took your guys' course in high school and ever since we got married last year, we've never been in debt before, me and her. So we've never had any kind of loans or nothing. So it's always been saving up, and saving up always takes longer than, it's easy to just go finance something. So we're really close to my stepbrother and his girlfriend. So we're constantly hanging out with them. And whenever we go over to their house and they start talking about how they're going to go here in a couple months, they're wanting to go buy a brand new Jeep for his girlfriend and whatnot. It sounds awesome. And I know that when we leave their house, we're going, well, it's pretty stupid that they're doing that.
Yes,
it's still it's still that feeling of that, they're going to have it though. And it's pretty cool. So it's just weird.
Devin, have you heard this quote from Carrie Fisher? Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. That's what's happening right now. You're on a different journey. If you didn't know your brother, you'd have no clue if he had a paid-for house and a paid-for car or if he was drowning in debt.
It's true.
So when I pull up to someone at the stoplight, my Honda Civic, it's an 09 with body damage, and the guy next to me is driving a brand-new Tesla, I don't know his financial situation. He doesn't know mine. He doesn't know I have a paid-for house and have no debt. And it doesn't matter.
You could say, that's a really rad car.
And I do. I say, man, it'd be nice to have a Tesla, but I don't have the money.
And then I'm on with my day. So I'm poking at you, Devin, but here's the honest truth. We do get this call a lot, and we have this conversation a lot. people make this journey all about the numbers, the dollars and cents, the savings, the things we're giving up. And if you do that, your identity ends up in ash because everything in your life is about the stuff we don't have. So the challenge moving forward for you is to flip the entire way you're looking at this around. You found an incredible partner. You found a great wife that is on the same page with you spiritually, psychologically, financially. Y'all are working towards something, and it's hard. And yes, it's cool to ride in a rad Jeep. It is. You know, it's not cool when they tow it away because I can't afford it or because we broke up. It's super cool to live in a fancy house. It is not cool to be pacing the house because you don't know how you're going to pay your bills. And I've been there. I've done that. Where my wife's asleep and I can't breathe. I'm about to throw up and it's 2 o'clock in the morning because I don't know how we're going to pay our bills. And so I want you to flip this thing around and not look at the debt-free journey as an adventure and crap you don't have. But I want you to flip it around and say, we are on the adventure of a lifetime to make sure that nobody in Devin's family tree ever deals with this stuff again. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's an entire identity shift. Your actions day to day will actually be very similar. You're not going to borrow money. You're going to keep saving for things. You're going to pay stuff off as it comes. Right? You're going to keep doing the same things. But why you're doing it is so different. Not because we're just not going to have stuff, but because we are making it stops with us. Those people who think they're better because they drive fancy cars they can't afford, who live in houses they can't afford, who co-sign on things with their girlfriends, which is just a disaster. You get what I'm saying, Devin?
Well, here's what I want to do, Devin. I want to send you a copy of Rachel Cruz's book, Love Your Life, Not Theirs, because what this comes down to is comparisons. And you're going, well, I'm not where they are. Dude, you're way ahead. It just looks different.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at things that aren't real. Because it's all finance. They don't own any of it. And that's okay. You can still love them. You can hang out with them in their beautiful house and ride in their nice cars. And go, hey, man, that's your journey. If you want to know what I'm up to, how I became debt-free, and how we can do all these things over here, let us know. And if not, that's cool. I'm still your brother.
Yeah. It's just it's not about the shiny stuff, and this is all about an identity shift.
Yeah. But this is a real crisis, I think, for this generation, especially for the younger ones. It's so much easier to get
It crushed our
stuff.
parents, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where we got into all this. It crushed our parents, too. Oh, I can build this bigger house. Look, they've got 2 cars. Like, I grew up, and we only had 1 family car, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, the neighbor's got 2, right? So it's been this way forever. They've got that, we should get that. And it's been keeping up with the Joneses, right? That's been forever. The problem now is the Joneses are international because we got these digital boxes, so they're everyone's a Joneses,
You
right?
scroll, and you're like, I'll never be enough.
Yeah.
I'll never amount to anything.
And I
Look
used
at
to be
these
able to
people.
see my neighbor's 2 cars, but then I would see like, I don't really want their life. I don't get that. Now I get the curated version. So I get where Devin's at. I get it. But man,
when you can make that shift and go, man, I'm so grateful that we don't have to make any payments. I'm so grateful to have this level of contentment and where we're at in the journey. And that sacrifice builds character.
Yeah. And
that character will carry you through the rest of your life.
So there's a great thing I learned. I ran track in high school and a little bit in college.
It shows.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That was my lo-fi high school callback flex.
What a flex.
That's right. But I learned often especially when you're training, not to race the people around you. Race the clock. You're racing you. How'd you do yesterday? How are you doing today? Are you meeting the goals you set up today? And it's you versus that clock, man, which means it's you versus you. When you're on this financial journey, it's so tempting to look to your left and your right, your left and your right. It's about where you're headed.
You
Where
can't
you
run like
decided to
Usain
go.
Bolt, John, but you can beat John from yesterday.
That's exactly right.
And that's a race
the
worth
person
running.
I'm competing against.
Well
All
said.
right?
Love it. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to John Deloney, my co-host, James, Kelly, Ben, Zach, Nathan, all the folks in the booth, and you, America. We appreciate you listening. We couldn't do this without you. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember to spend wisely, save intentionally, and give generously.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.